I am Jamaican, and this message is only for the Black Americans. Black Americans, when I tell you I admire everything about you guys, Black Americans, when I tell you every time I see someone and they say they're a Black American, I just be staring at you guys and I admire you guys so much because you guys been through a lot. Happy Black History Month. Thank you, because to this day you're still fighting, and when you're fighting universal. Thank you, Black Americans. I personally want to tell you a big thank you for all that you do, all that you're still doing, all that you... Black Americans, I just want to tell you, thank you. Thank you.
Many immigrants are giving credit to Black Americans, thanking them for the sacrifices they made it possible for them to be in America. And also they say that the first people that welcomed them, encouraged them, and also treated them with warmth were the Black Americans. So let's get to see more reactions. Then I'll come back with more commentary, all right? Let's dive into it.
I'm going to say this respectfully. There is no group of people in America who are more patriotic than Black Americans. Nobody. Nobody is more patriot. The way Black Americans defend America, the United States of America, should be studied. It should be studied. I'm ready to argue. Give me one time in history where Black people in America had a fair shot. Give me one time in history. Every time Black Americans have tried to advance in America, the U.S. government has directly attacked them. Every time. It amazes me how people, Black people, can sit back and look at what's going on in America right now in the Black community and come up with every excuse to why it's happening, except for the fact that the U.S. government caused it. What we looking at in the Black community right now is a direct result of crack cocaine in the 80s and 90s. It's a direct result, undeniable. But you'll never hear nobody, you'll hear them talk about family. How did the Black family get broken down? Black people did it? So Black people broke down the Black family. Is that what happened? All of these morals and values you talk about. Or, we lost. Who? How? How did we lose our values? Please, somebody tell me, because Black people love to throw pictures up from the 1920s and 30s when these well-dressed Black men and say, what happened? You tell me, what happened? Huh? What happened? Black people just got stupid. We just gave up. So what happened? What happened? Political leaders assassinated. The government spying on us. Leave the Triple K alone. Let them run rampant. Oh no, we got to focus on the Black Panther Party. We got to spy on their civil rights leaders. But we'll let this, the indoctrination is crazy to me. And a Black person, a patriotic Black American, will argue you down. Will put the United States Constitution in another Black person's face. Why would you tell another Black person about the United States Constitution? That's our document? That's their document. Like I said, I'm ready to argue. I'm ready to argue about it.
Like I've mentioned so many times before, when I lived in America, Black Americans were by far my favorite people. And I am so grateful to God Almighty for them because they helped me heal and reconcile a deeper part of my being. So today I'm going to be showing you guys a visual as to why Black Americans were by far my favorite people when I lived in America. Stay tuned. Imagine a couple, mom and dad, and they had 3 sets of children. The first set are twins. The second set, also twins. And the third set, triplets. The first set of twins represent children born to mom and dad that have desirable qualities. The second set of twins born to mom and dad are children that have meh qualities. These are qualities that are not so great, they're not so bad, they're just manageable. And the last set of children, the triplets born to mom and dad, are children who have undesirable qualities. Now, mom and dad in this context represents Uncle Sam. The first set of twins, these are citizens with desirable qualities as noted by Uncle Sam. These are white people. The first twin in this category, aka white people, are the white people who benefit so heavily from Uncle Sam pedestalizing them. They are the biggest beneficiary of white supremacy. They are also the biggest beneficiary of white privilege or Western privilege. And they also wish to someday grow up to be just like mommy and daddy, aka Uncle Sam. The second group of white people, these are white people who understand that Uncle Sam pedestalizes them, and they have the opportunity to also benefit from white supremacy, white privilege, and Western privilege. However, they also see that mom and dad are narcissistic as shit, meaning that mommy and daddy doesn't really care about them. It's all about image to mommy and daddy. They just want to look good to the outsiders. So they rebel in their own way, while still appreciating the fact that they are beneficiaries of a system that was not created by them. And the way these guys oftentimes rebel is by not dancing to the tune of capitalism. And a lot of times these people have careers in humanitarian fields or social work, which usually is geared towards helping their siblings. So let's call these guys white people 1 and white people 2. The second set of twins, these are the non-black people of color who benefit from their proximity to whiteness, aka the Latinos and the Asians, even the biracial people, chair. These are the non-black people of color who naturally benefit from their proximity to whiteness without even trying, just simply because of the way they look. And these are the non-black people of color who do so much to try to be white so that mommy and daddy can like them even more. And mommy and daddy rewards them with crumbs by calling them model minority, and their pussies get wet. These ones really don't give a shit. They're just born into it. It is what it is. Let's call these guys non-black people of color 1 and these guys non-black people of color 2. Now, the final but not the least, you guessed it. These are black people. These represent black people who recognize that mommy and daddy are not checking for them, so they say fuck you too, bitch. Shit, you're not checking for me anyway, so fuck you too. So as a result of not getting love and support from mommy and daddy, their potential lag. And they sit with their pain and perpetuate their pain to suffering. And this is what outsiders see and judge them for it, without realizing that they are in pain. These are mostly black Americans and a few Caribbeans and Africans that people deem as nuisance. These are the black people that recognize that mommy and daddy are definitely not checking for them. However, they think that if they pray hard enough and kiss enough ass and dance so desperately to the rhythm of capitalism and prove so hard to mommy and daddy that they're not like these other ghetto ass black people, maybe, just maybe, mommy and daddy could give them crumbs just like these people. Or maybe in their dreams they'll be upgraded to these people. Sure. Most people who fall in this category are Africans and a few black Americans and Caribbeans, but mostly Africans. Now, I clocked out from this bullshit because I'm way too lazy to kiss ass, cause no bitch. So when I clocked out, these guys seemed familiar. I was in pain, I was burning, I was hot. I had a whole lot of privileged ass motherfuckers talk shit about my pain simply because they did not understand what it meant to be the reject. But I felt safe with these people because they understood my pain. It was similar to theirs. And they provided me with a safe space because we understood each other's frequency. They were my home away from home, but I was still in pain. Then eventually, after I cooled the fuck down, chair, I eventually realized that there's a third group of black people who are persevering, showing a great deal of resilience, and making a name for themselves in spite of whatever the fuck mommy and daddy has to say. They were doing it in their own way, in simplicity and humility, without love, without support. And sometimes the only love and support that we're getting was coming from white people number 2, the ones who are utilizing their privilege to help out their siblings, knowing damn well that it would cost them a great deal of privilege because mommy and daddy would not approve. Yet they still did it anyway, cause fuck it. And because I lived in America, most people in this category were black Americans. A few Africans and Caribbeans here and there, but not enough. So, black Americans were the first group of black people that I observed unplug from fuck shit, just like I did. Black Americans were also the first group of black people that I saw leaning into their pain in spite of what the majority or the word had to say, cause fuck it. Black Americans were also the first group of black people who humanized me while I was in pain. And black Americans were the first group of black people that I saw utilize their pain and pave way for themselves by themselves, in spite of the heavy ridicule from the outside world. And on top of that, I, an African-born man, I am also a beneficiary of the Black American privilege because of their ancestors' sacrifice. And for that, I am grateful. And I know, I am very, very aware that this is something that a lot of people do not understand, because a lot of people don't know what it feels like to be the bottom of the barrel, to be the reject, and having to navigate through that without kissing ass, because somehow, somewhere inside of your soul, you might not be aware of it, but you recognize yourself and you believe in yourself. You might not necessarily be aware of it, but there's something deep inside your soul that says to not conform to bullshit, because you are enough in body, mind, and spirit. Show me how you have been able to navigate through a similar experience. Until then, respect.
They say Negro, okay, all Negroes. We're Pan-African. We want to help everybody. When Marcus Garvey came over, we made Marcus Garvey a thing over here. We gave Marcus Garvey international clout. When other people come over, we embrace them. In fact, when immigrant groups came over here, it was us fighting for immigrant groups. Even in the early 1900s, around 1915, it was Black people fighting for immigrants to come over here from the Caribbean, because the white supremacists had all types of rules and statutes that they didn't want Black people coming over here. Speaking of Marcus Garvey, it was Booker T. Washington to help get Marcus Garvey to come over here.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of folks don't know that. In the 1960s, it was foundational Black Americans using the momentum from the civil rights movement, fighting to get immigrants over here from Africa and the Caribbean, because we wanted them to come over to be reinforcements for us. You see,
The Civil Rights Bill is the reason why our parents got to come over here. 1964, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was one of the most racist son of a bitches on the planet, had to sign that civil rights. But you know, Martin Luther King is right next to him. Right. Yeah. So that is the reason why Koreans can come here. Koreans, Indians, Arabs, Nigerians. It's because of the Civil Rights Bill. Right. It's because of African Americans, foundational Black, coming in here, busting their ass, being treated like,
Right.
being hung, lynched. Jim Crow, from slavery was Jim Crow, segregation, Reconstruction, being promised that they were going to get this, fighting every war. They've been, Black people fought in every single war, and still being disrespected, not being able to buy homes.
Right.
You understand? Burning up of Black towns. And people go, well, why ain't they? They saw opportunities. There were Black Wall Streets. There were Black banks, Black hospitals, and they came and burned it.
Black excellence.
Black excellence. They came and burned it because a white woman said somebody raped them, and they never did, because a white woman lied. So this whole myth of African Americans not seeing opportunity, they did see opportunity, but you imagine, just like colonization in Africa, but imagine everywhere you go, someone is running you out of town. Someone's trying to kill your son from going to school.
To my fellow Black American, if you want to know why I'm so passionate about you guys, you will never understand how much I appreciate you guys. Let me tell you some stories. Let's start with in Europe, right? Every day, a lot of African people try to travel to Morocco, which is the last country in Africa, which is right across the pond to get to Spain. And with no guarantee, people dying in the water trying to make it to Europe. And most of the time, even if they make it, they get sent back. Okay? Now let's talk about the Caribbean. Now, the average people you see that's working in America, especially immigrants, whether it's from Africa, from Europe, or from the Caribbean, a lot of them get a visa to come in. And they fly. They flew to the US with no guarantee, a lot of student visa, whatever. But they don't know anything about America. But the rest, from DR, Dominican Republic, from Haiti, from Jamaica, from some of the Caribbean countries, even some from Africa, a lot of them dying in the boats to make it to the Promised Land. The Promised Land is America. Remember that. The Promised Land is America for a lot of Black American. There are a lot of Black people. And I'm talking about Black people. I'm not talking about the Russian, the Chinese, none of those things. I can only speak about what I know. And because not only what they did to you, but because what you went through, everybody still think that America is still the greatest place to be. And you are fighting, struggling, create life for us. But it's the other side you don't know. There's a group of people that were in Brazil, that were in Chile, and Costa Rica. Whenever you heard the news of a bunch of people traveling to make it to the U.S. border, believe me, the kind of shit they experience. Imagine walking from Brazil to the U.S. border. I don't know if you know the distance. You walk into the Amazon jungle, and a lot of those people being touched, being great on their way to America, and they still want to make it. They still want to come to a place that you've been fighting for. That's why I do not like disrespectful. Those are my people too. That's why we Haitians are very humble, because every Haitian believe, no matter what country every Haitian's been, most Haitians believe that America is the place that they can go from the bottom and up. They can go to France. Our language is close to France. France is a very poor country. France make a lot of money in Africa. Now the guy from Burkina Faso, what he's doing in Africa, the French are getting poorer and poorer. Most of us make more money, minimum wages, than doctors in France, in Europe. Remember that. So don't let those people think they're better than you. So what I'm telling you right now, the reason why I'm so humble, my father, when he came to America, he came by plane, and when they talk about Black America, make them feel welcome, show them where to work as a dishwasher, help him out. And he's very humble to Black Americans. Till today, you cannot talk anything bad about Black America.
Many immigrants are beginning to learn and to understand the history of Black Americans, that the freedoms and rights that exist in America did not just appear overnight. They were fought for, they were challenged, and also demanded on the streets, on the courtrooms, in schools, and in workplaces. And many of those battles, they were led by Black Americans who pushed the country to live up to its own promises. So for many immigrants arriving in the US, the ability to protest, to vote, to pursue education, and to demand equal treatment under the law exists because Black Americans, they refuse to accept injustice, and those struggles, they reshape the country. So when immigrants arrive today, they often step into a community where Black Americans have already spent decades breaking down barriers that once kept the entire group of people locked out of opportunity, and because of those struggles, the doors were once closed, became open, not only for Black Americans, but for the people from every corner of the world. And there are those immigrants who also admit that when they arrive in America, they are usually told stories about Black Americans, and they are told that if they worked hard, stayed quiet, they could become the good immigrants or the modern minority. So they are usually told to stay away from Black Americans, that they will be accepted more in the American society. But over time, many immigrants have come to realize that that idea was never really about praising immigrants, but it was often used as a tool to divide communities. So Black Americans, they have never tried to fit in into a system that excludes them. Instead, they challenge white supremacy itself. They fought for the civil rights, they fought against segregation, and they fought for equal access to schools, jobs, and voting. And now many immigrants are realizing that understanding Black American history and building respect between communities that share similar struggles is a way forward. Because when people understand each other's journey, they can begin to build stronger connections. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.